I'm that wholesome Midwestern boy that you wanna bring home to your mama. Even though I bring you joy, baby, I'm not the toy you wanna play with at night. Too many things I've seen, too many people and places I've been. I'm thinking about doing those things I shouldn't be doing, something I've never done before. I want something to fuck me up. Need somebody to fuck me up. Everyone feels like it. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. I'm that little hayseed that you know, from somewhere south of Chicago. Where do I go from here? The path that just ain't clear, so I wanna leave it all behind. Well, I might go and get drunk and stoned, 'cause it's better than being on the crazy. If I never come back, wherever I end up at is where I was supposed to be. I want something to fuck me up. Need somebody to fuck me up. You know just what I mean. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Need somebody to fuck me up. Everyone feels like it. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Fuck me up.
Well, I went to the doctor and said I'm feeling kind of rough. Let me break it to you, son. Your shit's fucked up. I said my shit's fucked up. I don't see how. He said the shit that used to work won't work now. I had a dream, ah shucks, oh well. Now it's all fucked up, it's shot to hell. Yeah, my shit's fucked up. It has to happen to the best of us. And the rich folks suffer like the rest of us. It'll happen to you. That amazing grace sort of passed you by. And you wake up every day, hang your head and cry. Yeah, you wanna die, but you just can't quit. Let me break it on down. That's the fucked up shit. Yeah, my shit's fucked up.
Meet me down by the mobile down trees. There's 1,000 things you got to see to believe. Come on, lay them bones down at my feet. We gonna look into the future, see what we can see. Man, I say the future looks pretty damn dim. I couldn't say if you're gonna sink or swim. Or give me $5 and I'll sing you a song. Gonna tell you something you knew all along. That's a yes or no, we all die at the end of the road. Ain't nothing round here you can hold. When I go, just take my bones, scatter them from here back to my home. Yes or no, we all die at the end of the road. Ain't nothing round here you can hold. When I go, just take my bones, scatter them from here back to my home. Back to my home. Back to my home. Listen to me when I speak. I say I do my best talking when I'm fast asleep. Come on, lay your head down next to mine. You can listen to the spirits of the dead just whine out. Come on, hit me with these iron wings. We're gonna fly so high we can see everything. Goddamn, it feels good to have my feet off the ground. Hope the good God Almighty that I never come down. Cause yes, I know we all die at the end of the road. Ain't nothing round here you can hold. When I go, just take my bones, scatter them from here back to my home. Yes, I know we all die at the end of the road. Ain't nothing round here you can hold. When I go, just take my bones, scatter them from here back to my home. Back to my home. Back to my home.
And good morning, everybody. Let's see if we can drop the time. Oh shit! God damn it, that was me. Hey, how's it going? Wow, my shit's all pointed the wrong ass way. What's happening? Welcome to Slow News Day Live. My name is Steve Poikin, and I'm here in the middle of goddamn nowhere. Happy to be here. We'll be on YouTube for half an hour or so, and then we get to do the good stuff over on the Rockfin. Would like to say hello to everyone watching across all platforms. Appreciate the hell out of you wherever you're watching. Got a lot to talk about this morning. Right as we were coming on, Ben just told me that the Parkland shooter is getting sentenced today as they're announcing ostensibly the Rittenhouse verdict. We'll probably look into that a little bit. It just strikes me as really interesting. Apparently they're letting the Parkland shootings victims decide his sentence, which is, I gotta look into that because but that's wild. And in conjunction with the Rittenhouse thing, they're just, you can tell where the push is to get people to act irrationally and overly emotionally. So it's interesting. But we'll check that out down the road in the show here in a bit. Let me run through the business and then we'll get to the news. The show has a sponsor. That's Matrix Bars. They're right there. That's that QR code in the corner of your screen, which you can scan and talk to the rabbit and get your very own Matrix Bars. Jesus, come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, Matrix Bars are 3.5 grams of psilocybin mushrooms in a delicious chocolate bar. They come in a variety of flavors. I'm digging the s'mores, you guys. I am. I'm digging the s'mores. I think because I'm the gateway to the alt-right, that my favorite flavor is the cookies and cream one, but that's probably only because it's got Neo on it and he's white and has a haircut kind of like mine and is wearing sunglasses. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason, but delicious all around. And I'm not knocking the Morpheus bar. That's good. The dark chocolate's good. It is. They quite literally broke down the flavors of their bars along racial lines. It's fucking hysterical. It is. We live in a fucking cartoon. We really do. Anyway, if you would like to learn more about or experience for yourself psilocybin, whether it be in a microdose or macrodose form, you're a little bit put off by the way that mushrooms taste, which, I mean, that's fair. Chocolate's yummy. Mushrooms are good. You could do the math on that. Hit them up on Twitter or Instagram at Matrix Genetics, MatrixGenetics, or again, scan that QR code. Those are, as far as I know, the only ways that you can get a hold of those folks. I don't think they have a website yet. I am getting promised a promo code for when they do launch a website, but I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out. We do have a GoFundMe for the month that is up, that is running. Huge thanks to everyone who has donated so far. You guys are fucking awesome and incredible, and quite literally nothing gets done without it. I'm going to drop the link into the YouTube and Rockfin chat. The link is also in the description. You can buy Sleepy Josh a coffee, and you should, at buymeacoffee.com/Bort, B-O-R-T. If you don't dig donating through GoFundMe, but you have less moral compunctions about Cash App or PayPal, that's at Slow Newsday Show. I do have a Venmo. It's under my name, Steve Poikinen. The t-shirts are fucking awesome, you guys. They really are. I am so very, very stoked that I wish it was a little bit warmer because I'm wearing my other one. They also threw a bonus Last American Vagabond Question Everything shirt at me, which I've worn on camera a couple times now. Let me pull up the website for the shirts. And there we are. So Truth Clothing is Nathan and Katie. Nathan Stoppelman from Lift the Veil, his wife Katie. It's just them doing the thing. The shirts are, again, just super fucking comfortable. I don't know what to say. They're awesome. It's great. Like we've lucked out. We really have. We've been incredibly lucky in terms of the people that we've connected with throughout this show's history. I feel, I feel fine, feel good about the Matrix Bar sponsorship. Especially because it's a gray market thing. The t-shirts are fucking phenomenal. By sheer dint of good fortune, I happened to meet and connect with Johnny Bravado, the artist who's done so much of the killer, like actual drawn out artwork for the show. Oh my God, I saw the t-shirt designs. They're in like phase 3 now. They're almost done. These things are gonna blow your fucking minds, you guys. Yeah. Ooh. I want to give you a teaser. I do. If you're fans of, or you're, I don't know, inspired by the work of William Cooper and Behold the Pale Horse, holy shit, are you gonna dig this shirt, dude? You are. That's gonna be good stuff. I think that's it for the bullshit. I do. So bless you all for bearing with me while I go through that. Now let's see what we can talk about on YouTube. And where did that thing go? All right. Let's pull this. Where did the Max Blumenthal clip go? Because the QAnon shaman, you remember, he's the guy with like the water buffalo helmet, waving waving the American flag through the Capitol. He had made himself known in a number of protests throughout the entire QAnon fucking psyop. But it kind of built himself up a bit. So when January 6th happened, he was front and center for all of this. He sort of became some kind of like goofy ass mascot, at any rate, he was sentenced to 41 months in jail yesterday for essentially an obstruction charge. Like, not in it obstructing an investigation, being in the way. He got almost 4 years in prison, 3.5 years in prison for being in the way. I want to remind you who this guy is.
Hey! Fucking hey, man. Glad to see you guys. You guys are fucking patriots. Look at this guy. He's got covered in blood. God bless you. Yes. You good, sir? Do you need medical attention?
I'm good, thank you.
All right.
I got shot in the face. Where are you? I got shot in the face with some kind of plastic bullet.
Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing?
We will. I've been making sure they ain't disrespecting the place.
Okay, just want to let you guys know this is like the sacredest.
Can't even hear it.
I know. Hey, no, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Chair, because Mike Pence is a fucking traitor.
I mean, the audio's not great, but it's all the way up. It's the sacredididist space. That's what it is. This is merely a reminder of who this Muppet is. I'll let it, play without the sound on it, because it's really not even that big of a, it's, they're in the Senate chamber. Again, we've got cop with the Capitol Police cop with the mask pulled down, dude bleeding out of his face right there. I mean, you should be stopping us. I don't fucking, this is wild. It is. They give this guy 41 months. Now, they also, this guy went into the cap. This is supposed to be the insurrection, right? The breach of the citadel of power in the United States. He gets 41 months for obstruction. Daniel Baker gets 44 months for a Facebook post. Fucking dogs. Daniel Baker gets 44 months for a Facebook post about an event on January 6th at a different Capitol building in Florida. We're passing out nearly 4-year jail terms for posting on Facebook or walking into a building. You're going to get 4 years for that. Meanwhile, the people who work in that building, let's start with the Capitol Police. Let's start with them. Because if you guys remember, back at the end of December, Glory Jones and I sat on this stream. I think it was with Ryan Christian. I think it was. We did a end of the year show with T-Lab. It was awesome. If you missed it, you should check it out. And we talked about how in the stimulus bill that Trump had originally vetoed and then turned around last minute and signed, using as his reason, oh, we've got to get some checks out to people. It's right before Christmas. It's crunch time. We got to put the $600 in these people's hands. I mean, I don't know if you noticed or not, but shit's getting expensive now. Cost of living's going up. It's pretty rough. These people need their $600. Sure, Donald J. Trump, have printed $20 trillion this year, but that was for my rich friends. But in that bill, there was allocated nearly $200 million to repair and replace any damage that was done to the Capitol building, to replace and repair the grounds. $200 million. And we saw that and we were like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Kind of chalked it up to a wasteful aberration of the government pork spending, that kind of thing. And then, the week later, as this false flag is happening in real time, parts of the Capitol are getting smashed up. The grounds are getting all trampled on. It kind of clicked. I went, oh, okay. Well, at least they covered their bases on that one. The Capitol Police there murdered a woman, Ashley Babbitt, shot a bunch of tear gas, shot a bunch of rubber bullets, and they got a $2 billion bump in pay for the budget for the Capitol Police. They got branch offices in New York and Los Angeles. There are now DC Capitol Police branch offices in New York City and Los Angeles. Why does the DC Capitol Police need a branch office? Seriously, I'm asking why. I have no fucking idea. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me, other than we need a federalized police force, and this is how they're going to do it. Maybe too many local cops are like, yeah, no, I don't want to do your shit. I don't know, cognitive resonance. I've talked to her family members. That was one dead bitch there. That was a human murdered body on the ground. I don't know. What's the point of staging that? Cognitive resonance. What's the point in staging it? Because what happened was we got sweeping domestic terrorism laws. We got the Capitol Police got a bonus. They got new offices. The fucking protesters that are still arrested are apparently having an incredibly tough time in jail, but are also being, targeted for who they are, for why they're in jail, what they're there for. Where, all of those benefits, those were already in place. Cori Bush had already written the domestic terror legislation. She had that in her hand the very next day. And it was several hundred pages. Yeah, no, I've seen a handful of those, but that video's fucked. Because I've seen the video from 3 different angles, because again, there were 40 of my friends there and everybody had cameras. Yeah. No, that's a dead bitch. I promise you. I do. Let's see. I mean, I understand not trusting what you see. I understand, that so many things about that day were not what they have seen. But we already know what those are. We already know that there's 24, 26 sealed. protected witnesses. We know that nearly everyone involved in the leadership of Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, the 3%ers and the other militia groups, all feds. We know they're all FBI agents and NSA agents and DHS agents. We know that. We know that they had already planned on spending around $200 million on refurbishing the Capitol. Like, in terms of orchestrating and executing, setting up a giant false flag operation, they get essentially, what they want. But if they needed somebody to provoke a reaction, no, like, it doesn't work on any level. I don't know. I'm not saying that like all of this shit is pulled off by the smartest guys in the room, or that shit is going to work out the way they want it to every single time, because it's not. But out of all of the things to be sus about, that's hands down the silliest one. Hands down. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna hop over to this is via Anti-War. The website is Task and Purpose. Our fucking military, you guys. Our military. Let's see. The U.S. military apologizes for misidentifying the bombs that may have killed dozens of civilians in Syria.
Remember, you gotta add the article once you share it, or it doesn't show up on the screen.
Oh,
I
right.
added it. Just a reminder.
Okay. Right. Which, there we go. After reportedly spending more than 2 years trying to keep the American public ignorant of an airstrike in Syria that may have killed as many as 64 civilians, we talked about this story the other week, the U.S. military has issued an apology, but not for accidentally killing innocent people. A spokesman for U.S. Central Command issued an apology for misidentifying the type of ordnance dropped on a cluster of civilians, women and children, in a March 2019 airstrike in Baghouz, Syria. The airstrike was first revealed by the New York Times, which detailed how 2 people with knowledge of the incident were repeatedly thwarted by their superiors when they tried to get the airstrike investigated as a possible war crime. Navy Captain Bill Urban, spokesman for U.S. Central Command, initially said that 2 2,000 bombs and 1 500-pound bomb were used in the strike, in which at least 4 civilians died. And it is, quote, highly likely that there were additional civilians killed. The Pentagon and the New York Times offered conflicting accounts of the number of civilians killed in the strike. According to Urban, investigators were unable to determine how many of the roughly 60 casualties resulting from the airstrike were armed, because several women and 1 child were allegedly seen carrying weapons in a surveillance video. I wonder if the U.S. CENTCOM got the video sent to them from the prosecutor in the Rittenhouse trial via handbrake, where the video was compressed down 3 times and was grainy and unable to, where it looked like absolutely anything that they were carrying was a weapon, because that seems to be the way these people get this video. The spokesman for CENTCOM did not provide any evidence to support that claim. Right. However, on Tuesday, Urban admitted that he had misspoke. All 3 of the bombs that dropped by a U.S. F-15 that day were variants of the 500-pound bombs. The CENTCOM Public Affairs Shop apologizes for the error. They apologize for misidentifying the bombs that killed the women and children. We're sorry that we got that wrong. The toughest part about committing the war crime is getting the details right on what the ordinance was that you used to rain down death from the sky. That's the problem. Wow. Let's go back to this. Several hours after these two strikes, coalition UAV unmanned aerial vehicle operator, a drone operator, who was operating a coalition UAV in the area with high-definition full-motion video, reported to U.S. Special Operations Forces that the UAV had observed possible civilians in the area at the time of the strike. Urban said, as the strike cell was unaware of the presence of the coalition UAV, U.S. Special Operations Forces did not have access to their feed at the time of the strike. Oh, well, so the only possible explanation is to pour 1,500 to 4,500 pounds of explosives onto the civilian population. The military subsequently launched a civilian casualty credibility assessment and 15-6 investigation, which determined that the strike was conducted in self-defense of the Syrian Kurdish forces under fire. The type of munitions used was appropriate because smaller ordnance was not available at the time. Look, we had to drop the big bombs on them because we weren't prepared to engage with anyone with a smaller ordnance. We left work without the pistol that day, I guess is what they're saying. We had to bomb the women and children because the Syrian Kurdish army was getting shot at in a different part of town. To prevent unintended casualties in the future, the investigation recommended requiring high-def video for similar strikes. You know what? How about you don't go into countries where you don't live and bomb the shit out of the women and children there? Maybe that would prevent future civilian casualties. Maybe if your foreign policy wasn't based on stealing the resources and wealth of other countries for your personal fun and profit, maybe you would limit the amount of civilian casualty. What the fuck, man? Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has asked that Marine General Kenneth McKenzie Jr., head of CENTCOM, brief him about the airstrike. They're going to they do this every time. Investigate themselves and then determine that nothing was wrong. Man, the coffee is not doing what it's supposed to this morning. I need some of that Flintstones chewable cocaine. I don't know. Oh, hey, we got some love over on the Rockfin. 3-chord grifter. Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate the hell out of that. Let's see. Faux show. Okay. Let's go to what else can I talk about on YouTube? Let's do this. Pretty sure I can talk about this on YouTube. I gotta get the article up first. There's that. And then bring me back to here. All right. So this is out of Zero Hedge. If you guys remember yesterday, if you were watching the show right before John F. O'Donnell came on for the interview, I was playing some video of Ted Cruz dressing down Attorney General Merrick Garland for signing off on this memo allowing the targeting of the parents of school children who were opposed to vaccine and mask mandates and who were opposed to the teaching of critical race theory in schools, to have them targeted as domestic violent extremists. Ted Cruz ran Merrick Garland through the ringer. John F. O'Donnell, first thing he said to me was, "How dare you make me root for Ted Cruz?" I have to point out that that it's not you agreeing with Ted Cruz, it's Ted Cruz agreeing with you because you have held these positions consistently, whereas Ted Cruz holds them politically. Hopefully that works. I don't know. But at any rate, the impetus for it was that memo that was going to target school children's parents for wanting to, have a say in their future and the way that they're treated at school. House Republicans in the Judiciary Committee have sent a Tuesday letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland after an FBI whistleblower provided a protected disclosure revealing that the FBI's Counterterrorism Division is compiling and categorizing threat assessments related to parents, including a document directing FBI personnel to use a specific threat tag to track potential investigations. The evidence, an email sent the day before Garland testified on October 21st, referenced your October 4th directive to the FBI to address school board threats and notified FBI personnel about a new threat tag created by the Counterterrorism and Criminal Divisions. This disclosure provides specific evidence that federal law enforcement operationalized counterterrorism tools at the behest of a left-wing special interest group against concerned parents. At the behest of a left-wing interest group. So, what the fuck day is it? Thursday? Tuesday morning. Christopher Rufo says breaking House Republicans have obtained whistleblower documents showing the FBI is using its counterterrorism division to investigate and add threat tags to parents, contradicting Attorney General Garland's sworn testimony. This is the smoking gun. Attorney General Garland provided zero evidence that parents are engaging in credible threats or acts of violence, and yet he mobilized the FBI Counterterrorism Division to use counterterrorism tools for investigating, tracking, and tagging parents. Let me go to these documents here real quick so that we can see. We got the document. We got the documents. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm under caffeinated. Leave me alone. Let's see. I think it's this one. There we go. So let's see. We have now received a disclosure from a department whistleblower calling into question the accuracy and completeness of your testimony. This is again to Merrick Garland. The whistleblower provided an FBI email dated October 20th, the day before your testimony, sent on behalf of the FBI's Assistant Director for the Counterterrorism Division and the Assistant Director for the Criminal Division. The email, which is enclosed, referenced your October 4th directive to the FBI to address school board threats and notified FBI personnel to use a new, quote, threat tag created by the Counterterrorism and Criminal Divisions. The email directed FBI personnel to apply this new threat tag to all investigations and assessments of threats specifically directed against school board administrators, board members, teachers, and staff. The email articulated the purpose as scoping this threat on a national level and providing an opportunity for comprehensive analysis of the threat picture for effective engagement with law enforcement partners at all levels. This disclosure provides specific evidence that federal law enforcement operationalized counterterrorism tools at the behest of a left-wing special interest group against concerned parents. We know from public reporting National School Boards Association coordinated with the White House prior to sending a letter dated September 29th to President Biden labeling parents as domestic terrorists and urging the Justice Department to use federal tools, including the Patriot Act, to target parents. Just 5 days later, on October 4th, you issued a memorandum directing the FBI and other departmental components to address a purported disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence at school board meetings. As the whistleblower's disclosure shows, the FBI's Counterterrorism Division quickly effectuated your directive. The FBI's actions were an entirely foreseeable and perhaps intended result of your October 4th memorandum. The NSBA board of directors later apologized for its letter to President Biden, writing on behalf of the NBSA, "We regret and apologize for the letter. The emphasis is original. You created to address the rising criminal conduct directed towards school personnel. You appeared surprised to learn about the National Security Division's involvement in the task force, but you avoided a direct answer to the question and offered no clarification or explanation for the National Security Division's role in the task force." This is where it hits, y'all, because if you've got the Attorney General of the United States dead to right lying to Congress in testimony about targeting parents of school children for wanting to have an opinion about what happens to their children at school. Like, I know that there's some people talking about this. I'm sure that this will play pretty big on the channels that want to focus on the culture war division shit or the social justice warrior shit. I'm not trying to make this a conversation about either vaccine mandates or critical race theory. What I'm looking at is the illegal targeting, and you know that surveillance has been rolled out on these people. You know that there are active cases for anybody who spoke up at these school boards meetings. We're the country that created COINTELPRO. If you think for a moment that COINTELPRO went away on any level or didn't just increase rapidly and exponentially as technology did, fuck, can I sell you a bridge? Because damn. What do you think the odds are, Sleepy, that absolutely anything happens to Merrick Garland as a result of this?
Jack shit.
I mean, so what else can you do other than like mock the real-time collapse of the empire and the relocation of the capital of Rome? I don't know how we're supposed to treat any of these fucking people serious. I like that the information is coming out. I like that there's a whistleblower in the FBI that's going, yeah, no, that's a bit too much for me, because that's all it takes. Michael Malice made a good point that everybody hated because Michael Malice made a good point. And that was this last year, conservatives have realized that the cops suck. Have realized that the justice system may not be there for them. It's fucking freezing out. I don't even know how a fly is still alive.
I said the same exact thing last night.
You fucking, what the fuck? This is some tough motherfuckers out here in Humboldt County, man. They fucking build them flies different. Jesus Christ, dude.
The thing was all up on my head while I was recording.
The fuck, man. Oh, sure, Ian, fuck Steve Bannon, but at the same time, dude, like, isn't it kind of fun that there's a bloated, long-haired, drunk, fucking, like, burn it all down sort of wingnut that, you know, was allowed to get that close to a position of perceived power? I mean, dude, like, you know that as god awful of a human being as Steve Bannon is, you know that at fucking 10:30 at night on a Saturday in some fucking island, you want to be at that hotel bar. You do, because Steve Bannon is probably going to get everybody in the restroom high on ayahuasca and then talk to them about Murray Rothbard. I don't know. Fucking Steve Bannon's a fucking wingnut though, for real. Let me see if I can do another story on YouTube. Oh, this is kind of funny. It is. This is the same article. because it does sort of tie into a lot of the weird shit with Garland, and the education system. And look, the critical theory stuff bugs me. It does. Not necessarily where it comes to like specifically race, but critical theory in general. It does. Over the next couple of months, we're going to be exploring that a little bit more, with the help of James Lindsay. This is still that same Zero Hedge article. The controversy began on October 4th when Garland announced a concentrated effort to target any threats of violence. I need to put this up on the screen. That's right. There we go. Too much shit open. Any threats of violence, intimidation, and harassment by parents towards school board personnel. The disclosure came days after a National Association of School Boards asked the Biden administration to take extraordinary measures to prevent alleged threats against school staff. What the association said was coming from parents who oppose mask mandates and the teaching of critical race theory. According to the DOJ, a task was to be assembled to determine how to use federal resources to prosecute offending parents, as well as to advise state entities on prosecutions in cases where no federal law is broken. We're going to use federal resources to help individual states and counties target the parents of school children who expressed opinions on mask mandates or CRT. Are you fucking... Hey, welcome to Der Gestapo. Critical race theory isn't real and isn't being taught, and you'll be labeled a terrorist by the intelligence community if you say otherwise. As we noted at the time, when it comes to conflicts of interest, Attorney General Merrick Garland appears to have a huge one. Merrick's daughter, Rebecca Garland, is married to the co-founder of an education resource company that pushes critical race theory, which angry parents across the country are protesting. Taking matters into his own hands, AG Garland tapped the FBI on Monday to huddle with local leaders to address a disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence against teachers and school board members. Well, this is interesting. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland recently instructed the FBI to begin investigating parents who confront school board administrators over critical race theory indoctrination material. The U.S. Department of Justice issued a memorandum to the FBI instructing them to initiate investigations of any parent attending a local school board meeting who might be viewed as confrontational, intimidating, or harassing. Might be viewed as, not is. If I perceive as a school board member, a parent, in any way, shape, or form, if I perceive that person to be confrontational or intimidating or harassing, I can have the FBI investigate them. That kind of power, when you're like a low-level bureaucrat on a school board, oh my God, dude, that's like an entire fucking wagon full of pussy and good weed. Like, that's too much. Attorney General Merrick Garland's daughter is Rebecca Garland. In 2018, Rebecca Garland married Zan Tanner. Mr. Zan Tanner, that really sounds like the stage name of a 12-year-old in a boy band. The current co-founder of a controversial education service company called Panorama Education. Panorama Education is the social learning resource material provider to school districts and teachers that teach critical race theory. Yeah, there we go. Merrick Garland. I will absolutely check out Chris Webby, and I will absolutely check out Raw Thoughts 5. And thank you very much, Brandon. I appreciate it. I do. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that. What do we have here? Oh, okay. So maybe. Oh, you know what? This is the last one I'll do on YouTube, and then we'll go over to the Rock then. when you try to use bumper sticker slogans to drive policy, when you use a bumper sticker slogan to, capture the national zeitgeist, and then that bumper sticker slogan gets turned into policy, and there's nobody there to write or vote on or enforce the policy that was involved in the impetus behind the bumper sticker slogan, you get fucked. You get fucked every single time. What are you talking about, Steve? I'm talking about defund the police. That's the bumper sticker slogan that I have a particular issue with this morning, because that bumper sticker slogan, while it did come with a couple of bullet points, it did. What it didn't come with was any of the resources or infrastructure to effectively implement policy in an oligarchy where the police are the weaponized three-dimensional embodiments of the state's monopoly on violence. If you don't demilitarize the police, defunding the police is going to look a lot like them taking away the most critical and most or least fucking harmful services that they have. It will also cause all of the cities and municipalities where you defunded the police to break down so rapidly that within 6 months to a year, they'll be refunding the police. This is from the Associated Press, which I do not normally use as a source, and you guys know that. But there isn't a lot of reporting on this yet. It just happened when I was prepping the show last night, and let's take a look here. Portland, among U.S. cities adding funds to police departments. Night after night, hundreds of people marched the streets of Oregon's largest city, demanding racial justice after the murder of George Floyd by a white officer. Among the rallying cries were defund the police, call for elected officials to reallocate some law enforcement funding elsewhere. In June 2020, Portland City Council and the mayor answered by cutting millions from the police budget. Now, a year and a half later, officials partially restored the cut funds. On Wednesday, the Portland City Council unanimously passed a fall budget bump that included increasing the current $230 million police budget by an additional $5.2 million. The added police spending is occurring amid a year of a record number of homicides, the city's greatest police staffing shortage in decades, and reform recommendations made by the U.S. DoJ. Mayor pedophile protector Ted Wheeler said many Portlanders no longer feel safe. Ted, I would wager that as long as you are in power and protecting Portland's pedophiles, many Portlanders do not feel safe. Totally different issue. And it's our duty as leaders of the city to take action and deliver better results within our crisis response system. Portland isn't the only liberal city doing an about-face on police spending. From New York to LA and cities that had some of the largest Black Lives Matter protests and some with an extensive history of police brutality, police departments are seeing their finances partially restored in response to rising homicides and officer exodus and political pressures. In recent mayoral elections, someone in candidates have pledged to bolster public safety budgets. Minneapolis, where Floyd was killed, voters rejected a proposal to replace the police department with a new Department of Public Safety. Although the three-word call to action was the jumping-off point for communities to talk about how they want to be policed, experts say the goals of defund the police are debatable. To some, it means abolishing police departments. For others, it's about cutting law enforcement budgets. And to others, it's about reform and accountability. Again, if what you're doing is trying to base an entire worldview off of a bumper sticker slogan, you're gonna miss the mark. Something is nebulous without any real teeth behind it, like defund the police, put into the hands of politicians. Are you fucking dumb? I don't understand the mentality behind, okay, we're going to scream something like defund the police. We're not going to address the Pentagon to police department pipeline at all in this defund the police thing. If you defund the police, we get citizen militias, right? Like the same people that want to defund the police are pro Second Amendment, right? Fucking heads, man. What do we have?
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What I want to. Yeah, I think this is the last. I don't think we get to do anything else over on the YouTube. We've been here for about 45 minutes though. So that's not too bad. You guys, we have a lot more to talk about and a lot more to discuss. But because of the way that YouTube is a censor happy agent of the state, we don't get to do that here. I just dropped the link to the Rockfin in the YouTube chat. You do not need to make an account to watch this live stream. Just click the link in the chat. If you want to participate in the live chat over on Rockfin, you can make your free Rockfin account. If you love what we do, you want to support the show, you can endorse the channel for $9.99 a month. It gets all of the paywalled content on the network. It's a great way to support your favorite content creators. But Rockfin, totally free for all of the unpaywalled content. Natalie, just use a burner email and sign up for another free account. I don't know what to say. I don't. I mean, it's, I have like 4 Rockfin accounts because I've endorsed my friends' channels and shit like that. At any rate, love the hell out of you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube and you're not like sharing the hell out of the YouTube channel or telling people that to watch the YouTube channel, watch us on Rockfin or Odyssey or D Live. Straight up. Yeah. I don't know. At any rate, getting rid of YouTube. We will see you over on the Rockfin